Hey warriors! Well guys, back to distance learning, so you know what time it is. We're going to do some drawing again with Mrs. Adams for art. So this week for your specials choice board, we have been going around the world, right? Well, I thought, let's see, you guys went to Europe for library, so I thought we'd do something different and we would travel to Asia together. And we are going to draw some Asian architecture. Architecture is just a big word for, buildings, houses, buildings, things that people can go into. So we are going to draw a Chinese pagoda. Can you say pagoda? That's kind of a funny word, isn't it? Chinese pagodas are really, really famous all around the world. They're a type of architecture that has a few different roofs. So if you think about your apartment building or your house, there's typically on buildings only one roof, right, at the very tip top. Well, pagodas have several roofs. They have a roof on each level of the structure. And so in Japan, in China, all over Asia, there's different types of pagodas, and we are going to draw a Chinese pagoda today. So Chinese pagodas are really cool, you guys, because you can add a lot of detail. They're ornamental, which means they're fancy. They have lots of really cool designs. They have wood carvings. They have really cool, bells hanging off the side. So you can add these really cool designs and patterns and details to your pagoda to make it all your own. So we're all going to draw the pagoda this week. I'm going to draw the very basics for my younger warriors. And then you older warriors, I expect you to add some details all on your own. We'll talk about that in just a minute, okay? So all my warriors, get a piece of paper and something to draw with. It doesn't matter what. Use what you have, just like always for distance learning. I suggest you have your paper up and down tall since we're building a architecture structure that's tall. I suggest you have your paper up and down tall. And all my warriors, we're going to start at the bottom of your paper, okay? We are going to start at the base of our pagoda. What's that word again? Pagoda. Okay, we're going to start at the base. And we are just going to make a line that is straight. Now, guys, you don't have rulers. I don't even want you, even if you have a ruler at home, don't try to use a ruler. Just freehand it. Just have fun with it, okay? I'm not going to use a ruler. It's not going to be perfect. Is art ever perfect? No. So please don't worry about it if it's not exact. But we're going to start at the base and we're going to draw a straight-ish line, okay? And it's, I would not make it all the way across my paper. I would leave a little room on the sides, but I'm just going to go very carefully, as straight as I can, and make a straight line. Then, for the base, we're going to make it little short line up on both sides. And then we're going to connect. Now we're going to have a long, skinny, what is this shape? A long, skinny rectangle for the base of our pagoda. Now, coming just a little ways in, I'm going to start some pillars is what they're called. They're pillars holding up part of that roof. And so I'm going to come in just a little ways on this side and just a little ways on this side and make my first straight lines up for those pillars, okay? Then we're gonna show those pillars in just a minute. Let's go ahead and make this roof. Isn't this roof cool, you guys? Notice how it's curved on the edges. That's for two reasons. It helps siphon the water off when it rains, and it also just looks really cool. It's just an ornamental design. Pagodas, like I said, are ornamental. They're supposed to look kind of fancy. So I'm gonna make a curved edge on the roof. So on this side, I'm going to make a curved line and it's going to touch. See how it just curves and touches? Then it's going to go straight across, all the way straight across. And it's going to curve up, okay? So you just have like this long curved line going all the way across. Now on either side, let's go ahead and curve it in. Look, I'm not touching. I'm going to curve it in. I'm not touching. This is for the curve on the sides. And then it's going to curve up for the side of that section of the roof. So it's going to curve up and curve up. Now look, Mrs. Adams' pagoda is leaning a little bit. It is not exactly straight perfect. Guys, yours is not going to be straight perfect. That's not what we're doing. We're having fun today. just learning about pagodas, okay? So don't worry if it starts slanting or anything like that. No big deal. Now, we're gonna go ahead and make this section touch. So I'm gonna make it go all the way straight across this time and touch. And then we're gonna go ahead and make this next section. Like I said, guys, we're just doing the outline right now for my younger warriors. You older warriors, I'll be with you in a second, okay? We're gonna make this section coming up, another straight line up, another straight line up. And then we're gonna do the same thing that we did earlier. We're gonna do the same thing that we did earlier. I'm gonna make a curve line for this roof, and it's gonna touch. And then it's gonna go straight all the way across and curve it up. And then we're gonna swing it back in. We're gonna curve it in, don't touch anything. We're gonna curve it in, don't touch anything. And then for the top of the roof, you can go ahead and curve it up and curve it up. Now guys, pagodas can have several layers. Look at this cool one. See how there's more than just 2 roofs? You can make 3 roofs, you can make 5 roofs. You, especially older warriors, keep going. If you have space on the top of your paper, you guys can make this. You already know how to do it. You can make several layers coming up as tall as you want. There could be 15, guys. They can be really tall. So you guys decide how tall you want it. Especially you older warriors, you can do more on your own. Once you have it the size, or if you've run out of room and you just need to stop here, we're gonna go ahead and make it touch straight across. And then for the top, there's usually a thicker section, an ornamental section that goes across. So I'm gonna double this line all the way across. And almost always there's a finial or a spot, it's called a finial or a spire at the top, this little pointy part that sticks up. So find the middle. This is for all my warriors. Find the middle. I'm gonna make sort of a circle or a curve line at the top. And then you can make it pointy as tall as you want. As tall as you want. So this is the basic outline of the pagoda. Now listen, friends, this is for all my warriors. For my younger warriors, if you guys are done and you just want to show maybe a couple windows or a door, you can be done, okay? But first, we have a floating pagoda. This is for everybody. We need to make sure that we have a horizon line, so I'm going to make the line stop, jump over. You guys all can do that, okay? So for my younger warriors, you guys can be done, even if you want to add a few windows or a door. Great. For my older warriors, guys, you know I'm not going to leave it at this. Let's add a lot of detail together, okay? So, like I was saying, especially for you older warriors, there are pillars on the bottom of the pagoda. So there's usually several, and it's sort of, we think of them as porches. Have you guys ever been to a house where there's a porch and you can sit outside? So this is sort of like the porch, and there's pillars on the porch. I'm sure they don't call them porches and pagodas, but that's what we'll say here in Oklahoma. So we're gonna go ahead and make a line on this side and a line on this side to show one pillar that's holding it up. You can even add another pillar if you want. I could add a couple more next to it. And then you guys can show a door. A lot of times the doors are very large, and so I can make it go all the way across by just making a line up and over and down. Another detail that you guys could add, you could double that really skinny to show the pretty woodwork around it. And guys, remember that word ornamental. I could draw a little bit of like a cool design carved into that woodwork. Pagodas, you guys, are very fancy because they're typically used as shrines for the Buddhist religion, and so which means that they want to make it really special and really beautiful and really nice. And so you can make it really cool by adding some detail in this woodwork. Maybe I just want to make like a wavy pattern. Maybe I want to, oh, another detail that you could add, a lot of times the roofs themselves are fancy. They have extra little points on the side sometimes, so I could make like these cool points on the side. They have little decorations hanging underneath what's called the eaves, the bottom part of that roof. So I could make like curved lines, or I could make straight lines or something. I could just go right underneath the roof going across and add some detail like that. So don't forget to do both roofs going across. You could, I mean, you guys could go crazy with the detail and design on these. Make them as fancy as you want, okay? There's usually some windows on this middle section. So look, you could add some woodwork on the top of your roof right here by just doubling that line. And if I have fancy woodwork right here, what do you think Mrs. Adams is going to tell you? Make this fancy woodwork too, right? If I have a design on my door, I would want to make that same design on my woodwork right here. Any design that you guys want, right? You could add windows. You could add windows just sticking out from that woodwork, or you could make it different. You could make it however you want. You could add windows just right across the middle. What am I going to say? Add details to your windows, guys. You could double this line. You can make it as interesting and intricate as you want, okay? And then look at the roof. I could give you a few ideas on this roof that I made. I just made, you know, little tiles all sitting together, all curved lines like this. So they kind of overlap and lay on top of each other. You could make, I've also seen roofs like this one has more lines going across. See how this one has more lines going across? You could make any design on your roof that you want. So if I wanted to do the lines, I could just kind of follow the curve of the roof. So I went straight down the middle and then start to curve it on this side and curve it on this side. So that's one type of roof that you could add. If you wanted to do more like what Mrs. Adams did with the tiles, you could come on here and taking my time and add curve line after curve line after curve line, all overlapping. I'm not going like this. I'm not scribble scrabbling. Taking my time, going nice and slow, and filling in my roof that way. You guys, you can do it if you wanted to add detail to that base of the pagoda. If you wanted to add detail around the windows, inside the windows, any designs, anything that you want to do is fine. You probably wouldn't see, you know, smiley faces like this as your designs on your pagoda, right? More curved lines and straight lines, squares and circles, things like that. But you can, I mean, if you want to add smiley faces on your pagoda, you know I'll let you. Okay, so take your time with your pagodas, guys. I cannot wait to see what you've done. Oh, one last thing. I almost forgot. If you would like to add bells hanging off of the eaves of those rooftops, a lot of time there are bells involved in the pagodas because that's just part of the Buddhist ceremonies that they do. And so if you would like to add some bells, you can just make a little curve line on the corner and just make a little curve line that comes up and back down, and then a skinny, 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 skinny circle. And you could add a few bells hanging. Sometimes they have more little groupings of bells. Sometimes they just have one bell hanging from each side. This is another detail that you can definitely add, okay? So take your time, all my warriors. If you are a younger warrior and you just drew the outline, awesome, I'm proud of you. If you're an older warrior that's been with Miss Adams for a while, I want you to have fun with the detail, fun with the patterns. These are super, super cool. Do you remember where these are from? These pagodas are from China, and you can find pagodas all over Asia. So that is where we went this week for our Around the World Specials tour. Be sure, you guys, to take a picture of your artwork and show me so I can see what you've done, okay? So I hope you guys had fun. I hope everybody's healthy. I hope you guys had a great break last week for Thanksgiving. And we miss you guys. We love you guys. And we will see you just as soon as we can, okay? I love you all. I'll see you when I can. Bye, warriors.